Hello guys, my name is Glurmit and today I'm going to be talking to you about some characters that may be worth the higher relic levels. Now just before I start this, I do want to make it clear this is just my opinion. This is not set in stone. You may disagree, you may agree, it's up to you, but I tried to include some characters that you may not have thought of already. Obviously there's going to be some standards in there, but let's get into the list. So I'll start by just breaking it down GL's high relics. When I say high relics, we're talking Relic 7, Relic 8 and Relic 9. GL's minimum are 7 guys. Ideally you have the kind of 4 or 5 of them that demand the 8s and 9s, the rest can kind of get away. Lord Vader, Rey, JML, all Relic 9 if you have the ability to do so, if not Relic 7, Relic 8. Kylo, I'm a big fan of, but I would do other ones before him. C should ideally be Relic 7, 8, 9. JMK can get away with just Relic 7, and Jabba can get away with just Relic 8. If you're doing TB in the later phases, then obviously R9 because he's required, otherwise R8 is fine. Now we've kind of broken down the GLs, let's go have a look at the next section, which is fleet. Now I've only included the fleet commanders, and some of these obviously are going to be higher relic levels, such as DR and Radis, for obvious reasons. They're required at R9 for their ship unlock. The other two are Kenobi and Piet. Now I'm going to be honest here guys, these are the only ones I'd take up to those Relic 9 levels. The other fleet commanders, Relic 7's fine. Some of them aren't really even going to benefit too much anyways, but these are the main 4 that really benefit from those high relic level investments. Next up we have the rest of the characters. Now I've actually broken this down into subcategories, which are going to be their kind of tag. So the first is going to be attackers. Now I didn't want to go through too many, we are going to talk about some extras at the end, but I wanted to really break it down into 4 or 5 characters from each subsection that maybe deserve those extra relic levels. So in the attacker section we have Bush Leia, we then have Commander Luke, we have Maul, we have Sith Trooper, and we have Chewbacca. Now let me go through why I picked each of these. Now Leia is here because a high relic Leia makes such a difference to the way the Jabba team performs, period. If you do not have a high relic Leia, don't expect your Jabba to hold much. I had this issue, I then applied the Relic 8 and all of a sudden my Jabba starts holding. It's no coincidence. Because the thing is guys, if Leia dies too soon, so many counters just run riot over Jabba, but if she stays alive, it's insane. Relic 8 is a must-have, and the best thing is she's now currently usable in the Crate Dragon raid, which is a bonus for the Relic 8. The next one is Commander Luke, and as you see, some of these I don't actually have myself, but it does not mean they're bad options. They're ones I'll be working on over time. Commander Luke is very good because in a CLS team, the leader shares stats, so by having Commander Luke at the highest relic level you can achieve, he's going to share way more stats, and it just benefits you a lot. That's really the reason you want him at high relics. Then we have Maul. Maul is a no-brainer. He can function at low relics. I've got him at relic 5, ideally relic 8 guys. At relic 8 and 9 he's going to be beating almost anything. Remember guys, Maul versus the meta, those videos are insane. And the other thing is if you then pair him with Lord Vader, you're going to have that insane mastery value. Remember guys, mastery is based on relic levels, so the higher relic, the more mastery Lord Vader can drain from his team. We then have Sith Trooper. Sith Trooper is one who I've always liked at decent relic levels. I took him up to relic 7 many years ago. And the thing is guys, Sith Trooper is just such a good character, and they also have a ship. Which is really nice. So you're going to gain value from having the high relic for the ship, and you're also going to gain value from having just a relic on them in general. Sith Trooper is a really nice character, very underrated, and they can be used in so many teams. One of the nicest 3v3 teams you can run in general is actually Traya with Sith Trooper because of the offense gain and all of that. It's really nice because of the Omicron. Then we have Chewie, and Chewie is here mainly because Han could be on this list. Han's already going to be at Relic 8 for Jabba unlocks, but Chewie should also be going up to R7, R8 as well because of the Han's Millennium Falcon. You want it to be at a high relic level to see a lot of success. There are other options, you know, JKL, General Skywalker. These characters are fantastic, don't forget about them. I just didn't want to put the generic characters you're always going to see. Obviously, some of them, like more, are pretty standard, but I wanted to kind of mix it up and give you guys some food for thought. Then we have the healers. There's only really 3 that I would recommend you guys invest into a really high level, and those are Jolie, Daka, and IG. Now you can see I have them all R5. Don't do as I do. Do as I say, guys. These characters are great at R7, 8, and 9. They just make such a difference, especially Daka at the high relic levels is insane. Now it does impact the Jabba counter a little bit with SLKR. But hey, it is what it is. High Relic Dak is nice. High Relic Jodie's really nice at IG. You can never go wrong with High Relics. Now, there are some other healers we could have included here, guys. Let me just show you the other healers we could have done. So, Barris is a nice one. I recommend 7th if you're a TB guy, because there is a TB mission that requires Relic 8 Inquisitors. You won't go wrong there. Honestly, other than that, none of these are really jumping out at me. If you're really into TB, do Elder. Ewoks are one of the best teams on the Relic 8 phases of TB, believe it or not. Then we have the supports, and I've really tried to mix this up, guys. I know if we go into supports, there's loads here, and you're going to be saying, Glurmit, what are you doing? There's such obvious ones you've missed out, such as, I don't know, any of these characters, really. And I understand, right? There are a lot of supports that are fantastic. First Order Officer, I've really enjoyed at High Relics, but you don't need him there. But these are characters that I think should, demand those Relic 7s, 8, and 9s. So Seer, I've got on this list because they have TB viability. They're required to unlock a new phase. They'd be at R7 for that. And then R8 to participate in the next phase. So there's one thing. And also, they're just such a good character, guys. Like, you're not going to go wrong by investing in Seer. They work with Starkiller in 3s, they then work with anyone in 5s, and also we have Malakos come in, and Malakos may just be straight up busted. And if that's the case, then Seer teams just go through the roof. I think Seer deserves those high relics. We then have Treya. Now, Treya is one of those ones where you can get away with low relic Treyas like mine, relic 5 and below. But really, if you want to start being consistent against Reaver, especially 5v5, you're going to want higher relic Treya, higher relic Nihilus, hence why he's on this list, because you don't want to risk losing to Reaver. So yeah, these two are no-brainers. We then have Dash. Dash is on this list because his ship is so pivotal towards the profundity. He's needed at Relic 7. I would say Relic 8 and 9 are easily something you should be applying. Like, if people are going to apply Relic 8s and 9s to some of the fleet commanders, such as Kenobi and Piet, which is you should be doing late game, I don't see why you're going to ignore Dash. I think Dash should be on that list for that reason. I'm going to do him at some point. It's just too much value. Then we have Captain Rex. Captain Rex is a newer character. He's also required at Relic 7 for Leia when she comes around. But the reason I've got him on here is just because the potential he has in beating Reaver. And if he's a high enough relic and he stays alive, you're going to have a good chance of success. I think Rex should be on this list. And if you're a TB guy, he's going to have viability there. I think these are characters you should maybe invest. Relic 7, 8, and 9. There are other characters, guys. Don't think this is the be-all and end-all. But these are just some characters I would suggest you guys to invest in. And finally, we have the tanks. Now, you'll notice something, guys. All of these, bar one, are GL tanks. In other words, they are tanks that work with their GL, and they work really, really well. So we have Malgus as the first one. Malgus has a ship. That ship's going to be pivotal towards the new fleet. And also, guys, if you have the new fleet, you already have Malik and DR at R9. Why not take Malgus up to Relic 7, 8, 9 with him? I don't see why you wouldn't. We then have Chrysanthemum. Relic 8 minimum, guys. If you don't have a good Chrysanthemum, your Jabba's not going to hold. It's the same as with Leia. You need those relic levels for this team to perform. Royal Guard is a mixed one. Now, I am a massive fan of high relic Royal Guards. Some people say it's a complete waste because, hey, when Mando decides to disintegrate, he doesn't look at relic levels. He just says goodbye. And that's fair enough. But outside of using Mando to disintegrate, against those Kylos, against JML, against all these other characters, having the high relics makes a difference. Not only does it mean Royal Guard will survive longer, which with the current Datacron set is just absurd, but also, guys, the mastery gain Lord Vader has. Look at this. Armor health, steal, protection. You want Lord Vader to be getting more of these stats during ult, so the high relics is very, very nice. We then have Sith Empire Trooper, who you're going to be taking to higher relics for Leviathan, but go even higher than that, and he can be used with C, he can be used with DR, he can be used with Savage, Treya, anyone you want. He's a very, very nice plug-and-play character. I recommend high relics there. And the final one is Jedi Training Ray. Now, the tanks was really hard to decide between. The reason I went for JTR in the end is because of the mastery, because of the evasion, and just how annoying they can be. A high relic JTR does make a difference. I do recommend it. Now, guys, if you want to know some extra ones I would recommend, because there are other characters we could have included here, General Skywalker, you could do him if you want to. I think he's perfectly fine at R8, which is Lord Vader requirement. Vader is nice, especially in the past. It used to make him, or it does make his ship faster than a R9 Negotiator, which is good for an Empire counter. But with the introduction of the TIE Interceptor, it's not really that big a deal anymore. Jedi Knight Riven's a nice R7. I wouldn't say you need it. Obviously, Inquisitors are their own thing. Vandal Chewie, I'm a big fan of, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys to go do that yourself. Ben Solo, I think R8 should be nice, but I don't think he takes priority over any of the other characters we mentioned. If you want to do fleets, if you want to do any of those characters, then characters such as IG, Beskar Mando, GG, any of these would also be nice for boosting your ships, boosting your potential. And in terms of the tanks is the one that's the hardest to decide between, because the tank's just so good at high relics. Crew's a great high relic because of his ship, because of his usefulness. You know, we also then have characters such as Jihani. I think Relic 7's fine. But there's lots of options, guys. These are just some of the ones I'm going to recommend to you. Obviously, you may disagree, and if you do, please let me know down in the comments what characters would you rather see on this list. If you've enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. My name is Glurmit, and as always, guys, I hope you have a glowing day.